What it do, what it do, what it do. Read that disclaimer at the bottom and let's get it started. Welcome to Trade Different, where we do exactly that. We trade different. So take a second to read that disclaimer. To the right side of the screen, you'll see a little bit about what the channel is, and then below that you see some links, social media, a couple of links to some exchanges, stocks exchanges, and crypto exchanges, stock exchanges, Robinhood, Webull, Momo, and the crypto exchanges, KuCoin, LBank. And then underneath of that, there's some links to the Discord servers that I'm a part of. Feel free to check those out. Feel free to leave comments, ask questions, and let's talk about it. So we're already on here, so let's just start it with here. We're gonna go over Cloudflare, Snowflake, Shell, the SPY, and I believe it was one more I wanted to take a look at after those four. What was the last one? What did I say? Shell, SPY, Snow, Cloudflare. And what was the last one? No, I was gonna say Zion, but it's not Zion. And I apologize for trying to figure this out while I'm talking to you guys. I just can't remember what it was. Tell you right now. Like I said, I apologize about that. Disney. So SPY, AMD, NET, Snow, Disney, Shell. So that's what we'll go over right now. And since we're already on Cloudflare, let's start with this and see what we see, what's going on. So first thing I see with the Cloudflare would be this channel right here. You can disregard this part of the wedge right here that I just highlighted, because this was just a wedge to break out in the hair. Now what I want to see happen is this come back down to retest. I really want to see it come back down to like 64, 65 to retest that, and then go from there. And then once the retest happens, my target is 72, and past 72 is $88, $90 on Cloudflare. This is a weekly chart right here, so if we go down to the daily chart, try to break this down as far as the days go, and then you can see where I kind of get the wedge from, coming down this slant right here. But boom, it pops out. Bam, this is the real, that's what we're really working with right here. And like I said, I want to see this bounce back down to retest this breakout and then take off. So with Cloudflare, see if we could write this up. So I'll erase this for right now. Save it. Let's erase it. And we got NET. And for Cloudflare, like I said, I want to see a retest to roughly 65.50. So I want to see a retest at 65.50 area. 50 area, give or take. Right? After we get that retest, then I want to see a bounce to about 72.50. So then We do the bounce to 72.50. Right, give or take. And then over 72.50. My target is $88 to $90. Right. So that's my take on Cloudflare. Right. That's what we got going on so far. And then if I go back to the, let's just go back to the monthly real quick before I get out of here. And we talk about snow. Just wanted to see how this was looking on the monthly. So if we were to take that, I really would prefer this channel, and then I know other people would probably want to look at it from here, right? And if you're looking at it from here, then this technically broke out, right? But like I said, I don't think that's what's going on right at this second. So let me take this off. So as far as the monthly goes, I see this channel we're working on. Like I said, we come dip down here. This could hit this top, and then we can start heading back down a little bit. But no, I'm sorry. No. We'll hit that, and then we should bounce out of this. So this channel should be technically just about done, right? So I wouldn't put this down there neither like that. I would definitely ride this up like this on. Right. So we could either bounce down off the top of this and bounce up, but I don't think it's bouncing down. Like I said, I think it's done. This is the end of the channel, and we should start moving out of this a little bit. Well, we're disregarding the end of that I just told you, and we're only sticking with this section right here. This and what we think is next. So like I said, I want to see this retest down here and then go. $72. Next one, let's go to snow. Let's go down to the 4 hour on snow. So I know we all were looking at this last week, possible head and shoulders. I didn't think it was a head and shoulders. I really thought it was more of this inverted cup. So we got this inverted cup right here, and this right here is what I think is breaking out to be coming to handle. I'm going long to 184 out of this handle. So this should be going up tomorrow, in my opinion. And my target is 184. Tomorrow's target might be 180, might be 172, 175, 175 to 180. But yeah, I want to fill this out, and then we can watch this drop down here. My target is about 150, so I want to see this happen. Afterwards, so for snow, I want to say this is in a inverted cup and handle. So we got an inverted cup and handle. I want to see a bounce from the current price to 180. Let's say 184 to 188. Right? Then I want to see a long put target to 150, give or take. Now I just say 150 because I'm not putting in the actual cents or anything like that. So it's like 151 more than it looks like 150, but we'll say 150, right? So that's my take on snow. What else we got to take a look at? We got AMD on the list. So let's check out AMD real quick. So AMD, either we're retesting right now, as you see this kind of just set up. So we're either in this big wedge right here for AMD, right? Or right, so it's either this big wedge and this breaks down more, right? Down to 199, something like that, and then breaks out. Or we're about to break out now, and this was the wedge. Boom. This was the breakout right here, right? Boom. That's the retest on the breakout right there, right? That's if this is correct. I think this is, well, it is correct. It just ran into this trend line, and I have another example of that from last year on the SPY, where a breakout failed and we figured out why it failed. So this could have been the breakout and it failed right here, right? And this is indication that it's going to keep dropping. So like I said, I was in this earlier. I ended up playing this bar down here today, and I got out on the 109. So I played it from 112 or something like that to 109. But then we have this bounce in here. Now I want to think that it's going to drop back down again, but I just was being precautious on this bounce to solidify the profit. But like I said, I think it's going to drop low. I should have held it longer. Neither here nor there. But if this ends up breaking out and going up, then I'm looking for targets all up here, 126, 130. That would be my target. But if this is breaking down first, which I want to believe, then 102 is my target. Between 102 and 103 is my target. So I want to go with the assumption that we're going down on AMD. But I'll leave both scenarios here for AMD. So AMD, we're in an overall descending wedge. Right? My target, my short target is between 103 and 102. Obviously, give or take. And then a bounce from the short target. If we were to take a bounce out of that short target, now we talking to bounce out the short target, right? That's my bad. say if we took a bounce out the short target, let's say 102, 103. Let's just say 103. I set it at 104. Boom. Then we're looking like 126, right? Would be the move out of that short target. So I'm gonna say 125. I'm gonna say 125 on that short target, and then the whole move will be like 130. So it'll be over this. So 135. So my targets for this would be after the bounce, I would look for 125 to 130 would be the target. Now that's the first scenario on AMD. So let me go up here and just write scenario 1. Right? So the second scenario on AMD would be that we bounce off of here. And like I said, I don't think this is gonna happen, but we'll see. That this was our retest right here, right? So we already had our retest. Right, so let's say we had our retest already, right? And then this is our official breakout right here. And this was official breakout, and then this was a retest, and then it's about to start running. Then 135 would be our target. So for scenario 2, get a little space in between there. From today's close, I'm looking for a bounce to 135. Now this isn't a one-day thing. Like, this isn't gonna be, oh, tomorrow it should bounce to 135. Shit, if it has a good day, then maybe it'll do something like that. But I don't think it's gonna just shoot to 135 if we break out of here, and then it just runs up all crazy like this today. This huge 30, 40 point bar. Now that's not gonna happen. So like I said, we're gonna have a move that it makes, but it'll take some time. So also what I just noticed in here real quick would be this fair value gap right here, which gives me another reason to say why we're going down. So we tested this fair value gap and couldn't break through it, and it just dropped. So, and then we're so low below the 5. I want to say that, like I said, this is going to keep dropping, and like I said, I should have technically held my short longer than just for today. Right? So that's our AMD plan. Let's go on to Guess we could look at Disney. Let's hit up Disney. And then we'll hit up Shell. And then we'll do SPY last. We'll leave the SPY for the last one. But here's Disney right here. Right? So I got a short on Disney. I'm thinking like $87, which is this line really. I don't think it's going to dip down into here. If it does, more power to it. But if I was to straighten it a little more, which I think is probably more something like that. See it bust out to $90 today. But then it broke back down. I think it's going to keep breaking down though. And if you draw these lines, this line is off of this and off of this. So as you can see, this trend line already comes from somewhere, right? And look at where we closed at. I don't care about the wick. Just look at where we closed at. So we didn't close above the trend line. We closed below the trend line. I don't care shit about these wicks. We can talk about wicks and what they mean on another lesson. But I don't care nothing about these wicks. So right here is what you see. We closed inside of here. I want to see this joint drop down again. Like I said, 188, 187 tomorrow. Any one of those would be my targets for Disney. And then once we hit the target on Disney, so after we run down to 187, so let's write down this Disney. Alright. So I have a short target, let's say 187 to $87. Then what I want to see from there is bounce off 87 and target off the bounce off of 87, the target off the bounce like 94. So let's say like 94 to 95. Let's say 93 to 95. Let's say 93 to 95. Target is 93 to 95, give or take. Right? So that's how I see Disney playing out. And here's the bigger, this is the bigger wedge that we're playing in right now, right? I just want to see this kind of scrape down here a little more before it pops out. Now looking at this again, I just put this on, just open this up a little bit. And I thought I was seeing a little something. So I like this activity right here. Right? So I would look in here for different possibilities with the activity right there. I have no clue what I'm looking for. I just randomly keep looking. Alright, is this a wedge? Not really. Possibly. Because then it would have broke out of here, right? And then it broke down the head, right? So this could have been that could have been the original move right there, right? Boom, breaks down. Boom, retest that breakout. Boom, breaks down again. Boom, that's the third retested the breakout. You understand what's going on? So you see, that's a breakout. That's a retest to the breakout. That broke down. That's just the second retest to it. Like I said, I don't know. It could possibly jump in the air. And then this could possibly also be a bear flag, right? And then this could break down again. And as you can see, we got some more trend lines below, down the bottom. So this is just like hypothetically. I'm just doing something. I want to see if it were to come down here, what would happen. I'm only getting to $80, but like I said, that's my thought process on Disney, and it could be the whole bear flag after it fills this out, right? So let me just check this one out at some point later on, right? And then it breaks down for real down to $70. So that's possibly what could happen. And also, again, we talk about confluences. Now we're riding on top of this this horizontal line right here, right? But you can also look and see this is hitting these trend lines, going up and down. So if we hit this trend line up top here, we still got time. Excuse me. We still got time to possibly go down. If it's hitting there, then the next stop could be down. So, and if I were to take a trend line off of this, right? Excuse me. Oh. Right? So if I'm drawing this trend line now, then I say that this could possibly be the end of it, and then it could drop down to here. So this is what I'm paying attention to. I'm looking for 93, 94 off of this bounce here. Boom. Then I want to see this drop down again. So as far as Disney goes, I think we already started it. Right? Bounce back to 95. And then out of 95, we got two scenarios. If it rejects at this top, then I'm shorting it down to $75. So if it rejects, so scenario one now, well, that's my targets for now. But off of those targets, we'll have two scenarios, right? So scenario number one, if off of this target it rejects, so if it rejects off 93 to 95, excuse me. So if it rejects off of 93 to 95, then long short target, I want it to be $75. So I'm gonna put 74 to $75, right? $75. I don't know what's going on right now. So if it rejects off of that, that's my target, $75. If it breaks that, then my target is like 106. It's like 106. So that's that. And then scenario 2 is if it breaks $95, then the long target is 106. My long target would be 106, right? So, excuse me with all the sniffing and stuff, man. But so we got cloud flare, we got snow, we got AMD, we got Disney, and let's do Shell. And then we'll do the SPY after we do Shell. So let's go to Shell real quick. And Shell, you see, this is kind of my older way of charting. And the yellow levels were like caution levels. All the green levels are targets to the upside. The red levels, anytime we're in there, we're going short. So right now we're in the levels of we should be going long. And there's a possible inverse head and shoulders right here. And out of this inverse head and shoulders, if it is an inverse head and shoulders, we should see a $65 target, and then a retest back to 61, and then a bounce from there. And I believe it's like $70 or something like that for the target out of the head. Now that's one scenario. And then if we go to the monthly real quick, let's take a look at the monthly. So you see the monthly, we are in this wedge right here, or symmetrical triangle more, and it already rejected off of this top line. So there's a possibility that we could see Shell come down a little further, but in all actuality, if we go down to, let's see, the daily. On the daily, I want to see this finish out right here to $61. $61, $62. And then we'll go from there. So Shell, I'm not too 100% sure on my decision with where I should go with it just yet, because this was my first thought process was just the inverse. It could be something else. So if I take that off real quick, and let's say you want to find a pattern in here, right? So we could be doing something like this. Could be doing something like this, right? Tomorrow, like I said, we could see the 61, then it could dump back down to 57, right? So that's one possibility right there. Then, and I'm doing this with you guys right now, so I don't know what I'm looking for. Just taking my time to look. So let's say we did something like that, right? So like I said, all of this could be a possibility. So this looks good as well too. I think I'm more with this wedge right here. So like I said, tomorrow we could look for this to run up to 6150, 62. And then run back down. Or it could hit up here and kind of want to stay up here, the 61 area, then to do the next bounce up to 62, whatever. Boom, 63. Then dip back down into here. So that's what I'm looking at right now with Shell. Like I said, I've just drawn up different scenarios. But yeah, this looks pretty promising for a scenario with Shell. So with Shell, let's call this an ascending wedge. So we got the ascending wedge with Shell, and I guess my next target would be like 6150, 62. So my next target is 61.5 to 62, right? And then once we hit that target, I either want to see a consolidation over 61.25 and then a move to 62.88. So hold on, we got possible consolidation 61.25, then bounce to 62. I think it was 80 something, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll just call it 61.80. I mean 62.80. Let me see. Right, like 62.89, 63. Could even go to 63. So we'll change that to 63. Well, if we'll leave 62.80 to 60, we'll put 64. Right. So that's with the possible consolidation moving up. And if we just hit the top and then bounce straight back down, then I would be looking for a short to 60. So this is scenario number 1. And then scenario number 2 would be at the 60. Let me just write it out. 61.50. 50. Well, I'll write it down like this. If rejects 61.50, if we reject 61.50, then my target is $59. And my target is $59 to 58.80. So 59 to 58.80. Alright. Those are my two scenarios for that. And then here's the grand finale. Let's go over the SPY. Alright, and we'll see where I messed up on the SPY too this week. Fully transparent when it comes to this. I do make mistakes, but I always find where I made the mistake at. So that's what really matters. So I ended up erasing all of my charts. For anybody who seen my charts before, you know, it's a bunch of fucking lines everywhere. But basically where I messed up was taking this from here to down here, right? And I was calling this the wedge, this big thing the wedge, when it wasn't. So I was aiming at this right here for my breakout retest, when the retest wasn't off of that at all. So the retest was actually off of this descending, broadening wedge, right? And I saw this too, but then I don't know, something just kept pushing me towards doing it this way. But had I done it this way, we would have had today right, because this is the breakout right here. It shoots up here, it makes this island. We get the breakdown off the island. And off the island breakdown was the retest, right? This is the retest of this breakout right here. Boom. It retests. Now it's going back up in here to the wedge. Then it comes back down right to the same point almost. Dips down a little bit the next day. This is basically the retest. So if I take this and let's clone this real quick. Alright. And then I'll put that up there on top of this wick. You see, that's the retest, right? So we got the one breakout, then we got the retest on the breakout right here. Boom. So this is a retest on that breakout. So we got the first breakout, the original breakout. Here's the second breakout, right? Boom. We might even come back and retest this third breakout next, which would be right here. So if all goes well and this is right, then tomorrow we should retest this breakout right here, which would be the 438. 438 hits, boom, then we go. Now let's say that this is already broken out and is going, and we get the move on it. Then if this breaks out from here tomorrow and it's gone, then we're looking at 449, 450, right? To go head up. Now so we got this completed right here. This was a move completed, measure move completed. Then we got right here building our second measure move. So like I said, we either gonna have this breakdown here and we go down to 438 tomorrow, if we're rejecting off of 442, and if we're not rejecting off of 442, then we're going to 450 tomorrow, 449, 450 tomorrow. But I want to think that we'll get this rejection first and end up at 438, right? Once we get this 438 rejection, it's on and popping, and you can load up on 450s. So how I'm breaking this down, I'm gonna say a rejection off of 442 off of today's close. Strong rejection, I'm saying 438.50s, maybe 438.12. What's this ended at? Or what was the high on this? 438.28. So that's the area I'm looking for. So if we reject off 442 and then target is 438. 438.30. Right? So 438.30. If we reject off of 442. Right? So this could be read a little different, so I'll put this as our first scenario. Scenario number 1. And then for scenario number 2, if we don't reject, if we open over 442, then my target is 449 to 450. Right? So that's the plan for the SPY, that's the plan for Shell, that's the plan for Disney, AMD, Snow, and NET Cloudflare. Those are all the plans that we have for the rest of the week. And I could show people more in depth how these moves actually work out and how I find them. If you shoot me a message, if you are looking to learn how to trade and to find these chart patterns and to understand bar combinations and to learn how to back test properly and learn how to use screeners and all types of stuff. I do it all from A to Z, and anybody who wants to learn, shoot me a message. We can come up with some type of deal to help you guys learn. With that said, good luck trading. Continue to trade different. Continue to log into these streams and check me out. And let's save this actually before we close out the stream, right? So we'll save this as 7/11/2023, and we'll call this the trade plan. And I'll fix the name on it later on. I just wanted to have it saved. But here we go again. We got Cloudflare. We got Snow, AMD, Disney, Shell, and then of course the SPY. Right? So you need to check these out again. You can rewind the video. And thanks for tuning in. Again, let's trade different.